Welcome to Daily Life Connection. Thanks for joining us again today. Let's talk today about the God of diversity. The God of diversity. We've been talking the last few days, we've kind of touched on the stars and creation, and that speaks to us so much of the diversity of God and his value of it. But do you know he also he values diversity in his church? In Corinthians, we read about the gifts of, or the you're all members of the body. Some of you have these gifts, and some of you have different graces. And in Ephesians 4, it talks about the different grace gifts that God has given different people. And diversity is something that he treasures and values. It is I guess what I really want to say is that diversity is not something we should have to put up with. It's something we should value. But it's hard, isn't it? Because it is so much easier when everybody's like me, when everybody thinks like I do theologically, when everybody wants the same kind of worship music I want, when everybody believes exactly the same things that I believe. It seems to make it easier, and I guess in a sense it is. But that is not a great representation of who God is. I think sometimes in our churches we think, oh my goodness, we're kind of all over the place, and there's people here that use this translation, people use that translation, and there's some people that think this is really important, and other people think that's really important. Man, if we could just get it together. No, we don't want to get it together in the sense of all becoming the same. God values diversity. When we look at creation again, just the diversity of birds alone is just astounding. Everything from hummingbirds to ostriches, and condors to loons. Just incredible differentiation and diversity, and God delights in that. And I believe it's absolutely true. Part of my encouragement to us today is you don't have to be just like everybody else in order for God to value you. Or I think even more importantly, you don't have to be just like everybody else in order to be right. I think sometimes we have used the issues of diversity and used it to make it us them, or make it right and wrong. If you believe like I believe, then you're right, and if you don't, you're wrong. And we lose, man, we as soon as we get into that isolation, diversity, is not a good thing. As soon as we get there, we never learn to value what is in the other person, or what is in the other way of thinking. Yeah, we need to stop and value that diversity. Diversity is a good thing. I wouldn't want to see a meadow with only one color of flower. It's beautiful when there's multiple colors of flowers. I wouldn't want a planet where there's only mountains, or only oceans, or only deserts. Diversity is an amazing thing. And so it is in our associations, in our families, in our communities. And right now in North America, in many ways, we are struggling. Well, even globally, we're struggling with diversity. Uh, we kind of felt like there was a time when our nation was basically Christian, basically white, basically whatever. That's never been totally true. But we find it a struggle to let there be diversity. And I really believe that God wants us in our hearts to somehow see diversity as a good thing. It is a God thing. It is something He values. And diversity can add value to our lives. That's it, isn't it? If I see diversity as a threat, if I see diversity as a condemnation of who I am, then it becomes a very negative thing. But if I can see diversity as enriching my life, as affirming that, yes, I may be different, but that in itself is a good thing, then all of a sudden I think, see diversity from God's perspective. God is a God of diversity, and that's a good thing today. So let's think about that. Maybe even today, some point, think about some tradition or some culture that is diverse from yours. And just stop and say, God, what can I learn from that? What value can enrich my life from that? And we'll talk again tomorrow. God bless.